Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 307 of How About That Cigar Live. Thanks so much for joining us live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live on
Rumble.
And if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, thanks so much for making How About That Cigar a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. Join us in the comments. Let us know what you're smoking. Let us know what you're drinking. And, of course, click on all of the big, beautiful buttons. The like button, the follow button, the subscribe button, so you don't miss anything that we have going on here at How About That Cigar. And what a, it sounds weird saying what a beautiful couple days it's been, but considering it's already November and it's usually like 30 degrees right now, it's been pretty nice. You know,
it's about to get shitty.
I know. It's coming. But
it's about to get cold.
I mean, my sister-in-law is here hanging out with my wife, and they host a Halloween party every year. And we went there on Saturday night, and it was nice enough that we sat outside with a bonfire, and threw some cornhole, and it was a blast. Bags. Some people are uncomfortable with the term cornhole. Doesn't bother me, but
I like cornhole.
you do. So it's been nicer than it usually is.
Yeah, I was in the woods this weekend with just a sweatshirt.
Tell them to leave you alone while you're on the show.
He knows. He's watching right now. You dork. Jesus, Mike, I love you, and you're a dork, but thanks for watching.
So you were sitting out in a tree. Well, you weren't sitting out in a tree stand. You were fixing tree stands.
I was fixing tree stands, and my ATV broke down. It was a nice 45-minute walk through a creek back to the farm. And yeah, but it was beautiful. You're right. Absolutely right. It was just beautiful.
Yeah. But you're right. The shitstorm is coming, whether we like it or not. It's Minnesota.
Speaking about shitstorm.
Green
Bay had a little poop on themselves this Sunday, didn't they?
Oh,
they lost their little sisters at the port, didn't they?
They lost to the high school JV team from West Elm, New Jersey or something. I don't know. It was terrible.
And my Jets didn't lose. They were on bye.
That's true. They did. The Jets did not lose because they were on a bye. Green Bay looked terrible. Minnesota beat up on the Lions, which,
that was crazy.
This season of the NFL has been so unpredictable.
Oh, it's just like, it's a crapshoot. You can't bet on anybody. Yeah. Your fantasy football teams, you can't count on anybody being consistent.
No, it's been all over the place. Absolutely. Except, Philly's been relatively consistent.
Yeah. And
they're really the only ones that have been, they've been the most consistent of anybody.
Because they had a couple of farts when they played the Giants a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Then they came back and whooped them. Yeah, but it's been crazy. Everybody's just beating up on everybody.
Yeah. Minnesota Wild are terrible still. Mm-hmm. The Timberwolves are middle of the pack, like 3-3. They're playing right now.
So early, such a long season.
Yeah. But the World Series ended on Saturday.
7 games, overtime games.
That was one of the best World Series in the last 30 years. Maybe, honestly, no, that's one of the best World Series in the last 50 years.
No, the one in 91 was really good too.
91 is still my favorite. The Twins won the World Series that year, but it was also a fantastic World Series.
It was awesome.
But this year, I look at the 91 World Series. I look at the 2016 World Series when the Cubs won. I look at this year's World Series. Anytime it goes to a game 7, I'm there for it. And this year, all 7 games were really, really good. Yeah. And I wanted Toronto to win, but you said it before the playoffs even started. LA is a postseason team, and they showed it once again. And once again, biggest payroll in baseball wins the World Series. Yeah. What do you know about that? Weird, huh?
Weird. But you know what? Yeah. On the average, you got to say that usually doesn't happen. It happened in the last 2 years, but it usually doesn't happen.
I would have to look back through like the last 20 years to see how often the highest payroll wins the World Series. I'd be curious to know about that.
I'd say 50-50.
Okay. Well, but usually top 10, right? Because Toronto's the 7th highest payroll in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So
if the Bruins would have made it, the Brewers would have made it.
Yeah, the Brewers were
like
top
15?
5. No, they were top 5.
I thought they were less.
I'd have to look again.
I thought they were less.
But I also know that I desperately need to have our fantastic, incredible producer join us on the show.
He's just
Justy Smoke.
He's eating. He's chilling.
He's eating. He's chilling. Welcome to episode 307, brother.
Somebody call the great Cornholio.
I need TB for my bunghole.
For my bunholio.
For my bunghole.
What's up, guys?
Oh, now you got me like in a mood to go back to, spend some time these next few evenings, and find some old episodes of Beavis and Butthead and watch them. I haven't watched Beavis and Butthead in 30 years at least. And
dude, they were funny. They were so dorky,
just
but
mindless entertainment. Just make you laugh. Sports.
We need a little bit of that today.
That's it, sports wise.
Sports.
Yeah. But
did I miss anything?
No. And I know how much you're into sports.
Yeah, totally.
So, but yeah, let's talk about this week's. Oh, we gotta
see. I knew it was
22nd in payroll. Dodgers paid more in taxes than Brewers were 22nd. Wow. And David Floyd, the 86 Mets. Although, that was pretty great. That was pretty great. Buckner, I'll never forget Bill Buckner. The behind the bag, the call on when the ball went through Buckner's legs.
Oh yeah, that was
in Game 6.
They beat Boston, right? I was right.
Boston.
That was beautiful.
Buckner was the Boston player. Awesome. So let's get into this week's Spirit of Mystery.
Brought to us by
who? Brought to us by Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. So in the glass here, we have 2 weeks in a row, a very healthy, we're going to call this a healthy pour. There's a lot of whiskey.
It is a bourbon
in that glass.
It's a bourbon.
It has very, very deep color. Very deep color.
Deep.
The aromas are also
deep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is powerful. I mean, classic, corn, vanilla, oak. Classic. And it's got, I mean, you guys can see that.
It's pretty.
Insanely deep amber color. It's got good legs, too. She's got legs.
She knows how to use them.
David Floyd said that's not 2 fingers, that's a fisting. Got him.
You could potentially categorize it as that.
That goes with the newer gel, right? That's what it's for.
There you go.
Figured it out.
There you go. That's why. Yeah. See.
So, what do you think of that libation?
Everything connects.
Yeah.
Always. I like it. This one has a very intense funkiness, like
barnyard funk.
Barnyard funkiness, like barnyard mushrooms, earthy. And proof wise, I've been guessing too high on the proofs lately. So for this one, I'm gonna say 108.
108
is the proof on this one. That's my guess. I do like it. Even don't let the funkiness throw you off. I do like that. And I think, like they usually do, it's going to mellow out and get kind of develop more sweetness,
Air into it,
as the show goes on. I think it's going to develop a little more sweetness to balance that out.
Need I say you've had this before?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you keep throwing these at me that I've had before. Recently?
In the last year.
Okay. All right. Well, who knows? Well, I'll keep drinking it.
And if you don't get it, there's always next year, right?
Oh, hey. Oh, too soon? Too soon? Oh.
But hold on.
Oh.
He's not lying. You can always come over to the house.
Well, yeah.
And I can blind taste you. I test you.
There you go. There you go. We'll just do it off the air.
Look at him. Look at being positive. Look at the future.
All right, guys, let's get our special guests onto the show. And as always on How About That Cigar Live, special guests are brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. And Drew Estate just unveiled the Nica Rustica Shade. Shade is the third Nica Rustica expression, joining the original broadleaf and the Adobe. Nica Rustica Shade spotlights an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, Mexican binder leaf, and a balanced blend of Nicaraguan, American, and Dominican fillers. Available in a 4.5 by 50 short Robusto, 6 by 50 Toro, and 5 by 66 Gordo. The Nica Rustica Shade is available now. For more information, please visit Drew Estate.
So can we say something on that Nica Rustica Shade? It's solid.
Yeah.
But it doesn't burn like the original one. You know how the original one was really so smoky and so...
Oh, like a tire fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't burn like that.
Yeah, this one's mellower.
It's shade.
Shade.
So
that's right.
I'm shady?
That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, help us out. Put your hands together and welcome back to How About That Cigar Live from Ferio Tego, Michael Herklots. Welcome back to How About That Cigar Live, brother.
What's up, boys?
Life is good, my friend. Always wonderful to see your face and
likewise
hear your voice.
Nice to be on with you guys. It's been too long.
It has been a minute. Absolutely. So if you would, just to start right out of the gate, let us know what you're smoking and let us know what you're drinking this evening with us.
Did the music stop?
Not in your head, bro.
Not in your head. It's still going on in your head, bro.
Well, I got you two here, so it's just music just seems
That's
to
true.
flow out
It's
of
always
both
going
of
in our head.
Yeah. Just seems
What am I smoking? What am I drinking? I lit up a Ferio Tego Suma Torpedo.
Oh.
Fudgy and delicious nonstop.
Mm.
And this is a little Four Roses small batch select.
Oh, you're speaking my language. One of my favorites.
You were guessing the proof on yours as I took a sip of mine and was thinking that this must be around 152, but it's not quite that high.
152 would be exceptional.
fire.
It's 104.
104. See,
It's nice.
nice.
It's nice.
Hello.
It's nice.
Generous.
Generous. I like that. Well, let's do everybody. Raleigh, what are you smoking?
I am smoking a Timeless Supreme, and it's got some color on it.
That's an OG.
Still, that OG legacy days.
Yeah.
The
Nat Sherman days.
the old days. Yeah. Justy, what do you got fired up?
I have the 2023 Timeless TA exclusive from Ferio Tego.
And I have the 2022 Timeless TAA special edition.
And we just shipped the 2025.
I saw that announcement just come out today. And give us and our viewers and listeners a reminder, and we talked briefly about this before we went on the air, but as far as the blend being, essentially the same cigar, but there are always fun, nuances and differences, from crop to crop and so on and so forth. So for the 2025 TAA special edition, did you notice anything that kind of struck you as, hey, this nuance kind of, balances out what, versus last year and so on and so forth?
So Elegancia and Generoso from Ferio Tego and this Timeless TAA kind of shared the idea of the annual limited release being true to the style that it is, but not necessarily replicative of the experience the way core lines generally are. So, we don't joke around with core. It has to be exactly the same as the last one you had. But Elegancia Generoso and Summa just gives a little bit of creative license. So on the TAA specifically, I find this new one that we pulled back ever so slightly the ferocity that the pepper usually hits, especially compared to 2024. And it starts off just a little rounder, but still the flavors are immediately dark, dense, rich, full. It is a very present cigar.
Yeah.
And if you know our style, as you do, we are not in the style of making ass kickers. It's just not what we do. There's so many good ones out there that will, are face melting and make your pit sweat and, send you for a loop. I just prefer that they do those and we make cigars in our style. But this is the closest to that as we can get. 100% Nicaragua, but we did a roll change, and the filler all comes from Jalapa, and the wrapper comes from Esteli. And you can think about Jalapa kind of like Ecuador in its effect on tobaccos. Wrappers tend to grow in places where the tobacco grows a bit thinner, grows a bit bigger, and then as a result of that, the intensity seems to diminish a little in favor of more flavor. Esteli is where filler is typically grown, and fillers you want to be thick and hearty and dense and provide not only flavor but strength and intensity. And so by creating a blend from Jalapa and incorporating ligeros and other primings, but from this land that creates just a more graceful type of mouthfeel and presentation of flavor, and then wrapper yielding that from Esteli, which is known for its strength and intensity, by flipping them, it really becomes a very Ferio Tego compromise to a big New World Nicaraguan blend.
Yeah. And I have to throw a shout out to our friend Kelly in the comments. He's smoking a San Cristobal Classico and pairing it with Culver's root beer. I mean, that's a baller move, Kelly. And that I have full respect for that pairing right there. That's kind of legit.
Root beer and Diet Dr. Pepper have returned to my rotation.
Yeah. 100%.
So good, great flavors.
Yes,
I've forgotten about them, and I've rediscovered it this summer, and it's great.
Yeah, well, and I got to say that because I talked a little bit about this week's Spirit of Mystery that I'm drinking. This bourbon has a healthy kick of kind of funky earthiness, and I get some of that same funky earthiness, from this Timeless TAA 2022, but balanced out. And it actually, even though just drinking this bourbon on its own, the little bit of sweetness that's on the back end is a little bit hidden, but then I pair it with the cigar and bring in more of the funky earthiness, and it actually causes the sweet finish of the bourbon to accentuate itself. And I dig that 100% because, it's one of those complementary pairings where they have similar characteristics, but they tend to bring out those little tiny finish bits, that otherwise may have been, kind of lost. So totally dig that.
I've been doing a really good job pairing lately.
Oh, yeah?
Well, obviously, you've been drinking it and pairing it lately.
Oh, you mean, I'm sorry, you meant for the Spirit of Mystery. Yeah, I thought you were talking about in your own.
No, I'm simple. I do waters.
You do water,
sparkling waters or those sparkling hops.
Hop water, yeah.
Hop water,
yeah.
I'm a basic bitch.
But I thought, Michael, about one thing, because we try to ask everybody as much as we can about, just the process of blending and choosing blends and tobaccos that go together and in the right way. And You and I have over the years made numerous. You've brought us some incredible musical analogies, which is in my heart as well. That they just make sense in my head, and I think they have to a lot of our viewers and listeners as well. Has there been in the time that you've been, in the cigar business, and specifically the time that you've been evaluating blends and working on putting tobaccos together for a specific experience or whatever that may be, that you find where the flavors and aromas are exactly where you want them to be, but then you discover after more testing that something that it's not going to work in the long run because something else doesn't line up, whether it's the combustion isn't right because of, you mentioned about the binder leaves and things like that. Have you had a blend that you were like, man, flavor and aroma is great, but something else isn't lining up, and you had to either shift gears or just shelve it completely?
All the time. Like all of them. Every project is going great until it's not, and the wheels fall off, and you say, you got to be kidding me. My approach has evolved. I spent a lot of time in the early years really trying to capture flavor first, and in sometimes strength also. And that evolution has moved more now into texture, balance of stimulation, condition of the palate, meaning not dry, not drooling, and also immediacy of flavor that is compelling, immediate, first puff. And then I work to tweak the nuance, flavor, and dynamics of the cigar start to finish. But that's a rather opposite approach than I think I did early on. The other thing I always do now is I always ship samples the way they would be transported for final production, because they have to go through the distress of the journey, just like cigars normally do. And it's amazing how cigars will taste one way in Dominican and Nicaragua and Honduras, and may taste similarly if I pack them in my bag and bring them home, on a 6-hour journey. It's very different to put them on a boat or put them, through the process of importing, whether it's time in a truck or time, I don't know what it is, exposure to temperatures and humidity fluctuations. But now I don't approve anything until I've tasted it 6 weeks to 8 weeks after coming from country of origin to a port to the warehouse, sat, and then shipped.
Yeah.
Because so many variables can change things. And even, like we had one project where we had 6 final blends that were all contenders, but one was like clearly the league leader. And so we made another, 20 of those and 20 of the second and third place. And I had 2 or 3 left of the original batch just to compare. And I was so excited to get them. And I lit up the leader, and it was totally different than the samples I had. And I called the factory, and they're like, that's impossible. I'm like, it's not impossible. It's exactly what's happening. And so with my last 2, I jumped on a plane, went to the factory, and we lit up one together with the original, with the new one. And it was totally different. And so now they're going crazy and looking around and looking at the pick ticket and the blends and the proportions and what team made it, and just trying to figure out any variable. And so they made it again. It was still messed up. And then the supervisor starts laughing and goes, okay, we'll do this tomorrow. And tomorrow I came, and there were 5 cigars on a table, and I lit it up, and it was exactly like the first. And I was like, what was the difference? And they said, I made the original.
Oh.
And I was like, so what does that mean? He's like, my bunching style, so let's do that first. So he made those 5, and they were exactly like the first. Same blends, same proportions. The only variable was the artist.
Yeah. And it was literally just the muscle memory, the feel on the tobacco in the roll.
He was doing it entubado.
Okay.
And when he put it in for the floor to make it, they did it a traditional fan accordion.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how just that makes such a difference in even flavor and aroma? I mean, you're talking about literally the same leaves, and in some cases the leaves came off, plants that were 4 feet away from each other. But
if they're pitched differently, or if if one's on an end and it gets too much wind, it's totally different.
That's one of those little fun nuances that I absolutely love about hearing people talk about blending cigars.
And even Suma, the one that we're smoking, originally this was Dominican Corojo for a wrapper, and it looked great and it tasted great, but it burned terrible. And no matter what we did, if we came down to priming to get it to burn better, it smoked worse. It tasted worse. If we tried to play with binder, it changed the flavor too much. And then, so we kept looking and looking and looking, and then we ended up finding Corojo from Ecuador. And when we used it, it looked great. It burned great. It tasted great, but it did not taste like the original intention of Suma. And so I was really like beating myself up about it because I was so headstrong on this idea of what I thought I wanted it to be. But then I kind of came around to the idea that if no one else knows what this is, and we're just trying to perfect the painting, then let's stick with what we've got and continue to move forward instead of getting stuck in this place of, throwing a creative tantrum because it's not exactly what I wanted it to be. And it's turned out to be probably better than it would have been.
Yeah. Nice.
So since I have you two here, let's talk music.
Ooh. I mean,
well, that's sure better than sports.
Twist my arm.
So lately there's been a lot of AI music coming out where they take newer music, like whether it's rap, and they turn it into like 50 soul music, or they take what else is there? There's a rap, there's been everything.
Yeah, like
they're going backwards like to 60s or 50s music.
Yeah.
AI generating it and then coming up. What do you guys think of that? Because I've sent you a few of them and I'm like, this is good.
You sent me a few, yeah, and some of them are, I mean, yeah, they're good. But I still don't like it.
That's where I'm leaning.
To me, AI is a genre. A lot, like there were a lot of people who didn't like hip hop, but the hip hop artists did, and so did the people who grew up with hip hop.
Yeah.
And if you look at the jazz world, people were so stuck in traditional jazz that they completely discredited avant-garde jazz, electric jazz, fusion,
Latin jazz.
But without that, you really would not have had progress or any evolution into anything that was meaningful, that became soul or that became anything else, funk. So I think it's a mistake in any business to ignore or criticize the inevitable development of anything, and that technology will always become more incorporated. But it takes an artist to use new tools in an artistic way. And I'm pretty convinced that AI will not be able to exactly do that. And no different than reading an AI generated Instagram caption or an AI generated press release. It's painfully clear which ones have been woven through the tapestry of ChatGPT and which ones haven't been. In fact, I'm discouraged that the word timeless is used so much now, because it's an absolute AI trigger word for, clearly being AI generated, and the fact that we have a brand called Timeless is awfully frustrating now. But nevertheless, I think being exposed to that much technology influenced art only shines a brighter light on what is clearly being created by artists.
Yeah.
And that has always been the case. That's not to say that the artists are somehow going to make more money and be successful. That's rarely the case. The evolved art remains pop, remains the one that's in demand by most people. And that's the way it is. Whether it's visual art, musical arts, culinary arts, it's the stuff that serves the masses. But the things that are appreciated the most and the most enduring, I think, are the ones that are truly craft and artisanal. And I think consumers see through that.
Yeah. And I think that goes to a lot of, some of the stuff we've talked about in the past that, and I've even heard this said ever since I was a small child, that you see when there's turmoil in the world, whether it's a war or major financial, collapse or whatever, you see a resurgence of the arts, specifically, and speaking of musical arts, you see a resurgence of, and again, the buzzword, the buzzword of timeless arts. Jazz goes through the roof when there's turmoil in the world. As far as listenership, people, and back in the day, people purchasing cassettes, albums, CDs, then buying songs on iTunes, and now listening on Spotify and so on and so forth.
But vinyl is also at an all-time high now.
Vinyl is at a huge. I just gave my 16-year-old son. I fortunately still have some very treasured older vinyls, and I dusted them off and brought him up to my 16-year-old son's room, and got him a nice quality turntable to listen to them on, and he's absolutely in heaven. And Amy and I, my wife, got down also a big old plastic crate of CDs that we had packed up 20 years ago, and I'm pulling out these Dizzy Gillespie CDs and John Coltrane CDs, and my son Eli, his eyes just light up, and he grabs them from me. He's like, all right, I'm taking this one, I'm taking that one, and even some more quote unquote modern jazz, like Flim and the BBs and the Yellow Jackets and stuff like that. And he's just absolutely, and I see that.
By the way, that's CDs and vinyl is the only way these guys get paid.
Yeah. I mean, they make shit off of streaming. Like if you play their song one time, they make like nothing. Less than a penny.
You're right. So even just if arts are important to you, spend the money. What? I don't even know what a CD costs now, but I bought one recently from a guy who was $12 or $16 at a show. I mean, that's sure it's not free like streaming, but pay the guy what he's worth, or gal.
Yeah.
Buy the painting. Go find something that's meaningful that you can look at, that you can connect emotionally with. That's why I don't care how much AI comes in to the world. And you know what? I shouldn't even say never, because I'm sure there will be a whole community of virtual world collecting virtual NFT cigars that you smoke virtually that have absolutely no actual flavor. And so to me, that seems so completely ridiculous. But I'm sure within my lifetime, that will be a thing.
Yeah.
But it can't replace this. And it can't replace this. And it can't replace this. And it can't replace this.
Yeah. And it's like, over the years, and these could be old jazz songs, or they could be, any modern pop from the 70s through today. And you're going to have, you'll be out at a place somewhere and there's going to be a band playing music live, and real musicians playing instruments, singing, making music. on their own. And this song's been played 1 million times, 10,000 times by different groups of instrumentalists, different arrangements, so on and so forth. The same with, there's maybe 1,000 vineyards or, companies that have made a wine with this particular combination of grapes. And then there's also been maybe 1,000 cigars that have been made with a certain combination of, tobaccos and so on and so forth. But it's all going to sound different if they're making that music with, in the moment with their own creative swing. And if they're making that wine in the moment with their own creative swing, and if they're making those cigars in the moment with their own creative swing,
which is also why I can't criticize this AI generated music, because even though they are taking previously created things, they are applying their own creative take to turn it into something else. And so, like it or not, it's not that far removed from sampling, or incorporating pieces of other people's stuff. So I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's inevitable. And so I'm intrigued by it.
Eric wants to know if you can auction something off because he missed the Pro Cigar.
You bet, man. I auction everything off. I don't know what kind of I don't know what we're raising money for, and I don't know how much money we have in the room, but if there's money in the room and a cause that needs it, you better believe I'll auction.
There you go. There you go. I love that. Yeah, and you have become, over the the last number of years, you've become legendary. I'm not afraid to use the word legendary as a host, an MC, an auctioneer.
Isn't that a wild thing?
Well, I think it's a natural. I think it's just something that's in your personality.
It's what I majored in. I mean, I majored in drum set performance.
But it's performance nonetheless.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was never a time I did not envision myself in front of a room full of people, hopefully on a stage. So it's been interesting to see that evolution. It's wild. And I'll tell you what I appreciate it too is the fact that I've been able to do it in situations that some could argue are inappropriate for somebody at the time employed by one company and now owning one company to be in the mix of my competitors and oftentimes working on behalf of them in those scenarios. The fact that I've still been allowed to do it is really a pleasure. I'm so thrilled.
Well, and it's part of that, and I'm going to shine on you a little bit, and it's true. Part of it is that they know you're going to be that. Yeah, you're Michael Herklots, co-owner and founder of Ferio Tego, but they also know that you are an actual genuine ambassador for the craft, the hobby, and the lifestyle of premium hand-rolled cigars. And that goes a long way, that they know that comes with just a love for the craft and a love for the
and the people.
Yeah. And the creativity that goes into all of it. And they know that's going to shine through when you're on the stage promoting not yourself, but promoting the culture that you're a part of.
And a lot of it also provides me an opportunity to say thank you and give back to them. I mean, this industry's been so good to me for so long. If I can do something to help, like Pro Cigar or like the Great Smoke or like any of those, big events, that's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
go ahead.
So we're both from New York, right? I see that NYPD thing behind you. What is that? And why isn't it fire rather than MPD? NYPD.
Why isn't it fire?
Yeah.
Because they didn't give me one. What do you mean?
He's jealous because he's a firefighter.
This is every police officer's shield that's ever existed from 1845 through present. I don't know if that's still present, but that was present as of 2009.
Oh wow! So that's the actual
cool.
designs of all the different shields over the years.
One physical shield from each era.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did a lot of events for NYPD over the years, and fundraisers, and just like we were talking about, auctions, and so this was for the New York City Police Reserves Association. I did a bunch of work with them, and they gave this to me.
That's pretty cool, brother.
Yeah. Columbia Association, NYPD. There's another one.
Oh, awesome.
A couple of NYPDs.
So
they're good folks.
I'm curious, just from a creative standpoint, because there's when somebody has creative energy, we can, each of us who have creative energy can, make it manifest in, different ways, and yet still, think about focusing it on, specific things. But at the same time, we've seen over the years, many people in the cigar industry, also, not necessarily, lay aside their cigars for other things, but sort of add on different creative elements to go along with cigars. And so have you ever thought about, or do you have any interest in other product categories, like under the Ferio Tego name, like cigar accessories or spirits or wine or coffee or anything like that?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I've also seen a lot of brands fail when they have no authenticity in that adjacent category, but they claim they do, and that's where I've, you can just feel it when things start sprouting out of nowhere with a coffee and a bourbon and a wine and a clothing brand, and all this stuff, especially for new brands, or if they're really close in time to another brand doing it, and so it's a copycat. We preach endlessly about time when it comes to this. The time it takes from seed to crop, through curing, fermentation, aging, blend development, blend creation, aging again, shit. Like, there's just so much time. It feels impossible for a brand to make something great when they don't have the time in to be able to command a product that great, which then makes it feel white labeled, which is like one step before the AI generated version that we were just talking about. And as a brand that's only 4 years old in market, I've also learned that it's naive and arrogant to think that everyone already knows the stories we already have to tell. That's just not the case. So if we have a story to tell and an opportunity to share it, I need to share it with the ones that we are already winning in, that are already recognized as being great. And for whatever reason that person is just discovering, we need to be there to support their moment of discovery. And obviously there's an argument that by launching a bourbon and a bracelet company, that could be the catalyst to invite those people to the cigar world. But I know how much time, effort, and money it takes to do this well.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine trying to wrap my head around alcohol and apparel and all that stuff in a meaningful way. It's just too much, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started, I could show you my notes from 2020, Oh, we had it all by year 5, man. Fucking, are you kidding? But you know, you have to be self-aware to know that if this is your money and your legacy and your time, and you know, you got to sit down. Thank God I have a great business partner, and you know, we're constantly rationalizing our next investment. And it's hard to even believe that it's been 4 years, because it's just gone by so fast. But there is no better investment of our money and our time than in the handmade premium cigar industry, in handmade premium cigar inventory, and traveling to visit handmade premium cigar retailers and consumers.
Yeah, 100%. So, gosh, I had a train of thought and
I would rather highlight someone else's great coffee and highlight someone else's great wine. That's you know, what's been so wonderful about being around so long and starting as young as I did was I've made some incredible relationships. And a lot of the young people I came up with in their categories are now serious players in their industry, in their industries, chefs and winemakers and distributors. And so, you know, I also really believe in making sure that you shine some light on other people that are doing similar things. Don't pretend that you're the best artist in all the categories, but you know, if this is the world I play in, let me show you. You know, I'm a jazz drummer, so I couldn't play Metallica. I mean, I could play it, but I can't play it.
Right.
So you highlight the musicians that do the work that you can't do. So to me, the coffee makers and the winemakers and the chefs, those people have taken their craft as seriously as I have taken mine.
Yeah.
And so to pretend that somehow now I'm equal, I think is silly.
I like that approach, that instead of trying to create the next great bourbon or, you know, wine, you want to highlight the people who are making really great bourbon and really great wine, or, you know, like you said, great chefs or great designers or great.
I'd like to learn about it, and maybe someday it happens.
Sure.
But it took 20 years for this to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me to hear you say this for one reason. I don't see you staying in your own lane, if that makes sense. I always see you going out. Yeah, in a good way. I see you always doing other stuff rather than you're always promoting premium tobacco.
Of course, but I don't claim to be an expert in the other things. Like, I'm always sharing my experiences in Napa Valley. I go twice a year. I love menswear as a hobby, so I'll always make sure that there's some inclusion of that. I love incorporating wine and spirits and food into my work. My expertise, and I use that term very loosely, is in how this integrates peripherally with some of those.
Okay. That makes more sense to me.
Like, to me, if I'm a menswear guy as a hobbyist, so I'm as excited about meeting a tie maker as a cigar consumer is about meeting a cigar maker.
Yeah.
And then when there's opportunities where that tie maker happens to like cigars, though, isn't that a unique opportunity to be able to highlight each other's work? And so I've done that certainly in the tailoring world, with different tailors and different folks that make suits and jackets and other stuff to help show their stories more. This just happens to be that connector.
Yeah. Well, and going back to what you were talking about when, you know, you guys first launched Ferio Tego, you know, I imagine those first few talks and meetings, and I see, you know, the notepads and the pens just flying and, you know, with ideas. And, you know, I can see one of those entries on one of those pages of the notepad says 2026 total market domination. And of course, I mean, everybody wants to aspire to those things, whether, you know, and it's sometimes, you know, a bit tongue in cheek, but still it's just it's a desire for success and a desire for quality and continuity.
And I'll tell you, it was not as insane as total market domination, but they were lofty goals, you know.
Sure, absolutely.
But I don't prevent myself from taking time to just look backwards and reflect on how far we have come, particularly when, I mean, I think it's fair to say at our launch, the expectations were outrageously high for what Ferio Tego needed to be.
Yeah.
And I won't deny that we had great momentum, and I think we continue to enjoy great momentum throughout the year, not just in spikes of releases, but just a slow and steady, everyday new people discovering the uniqueness and value of our portfolio. But you can't ignore also the incredible headwinds that we have had and that have been changing direction from the moment we started.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been crazy. So to look at where we are today through a 2020 lens, it's very easy for me to say I'm disappointed because we didn't hit total market domination. But when I look at it through the rear view and I see the storms that we've come through and weathered as a small startup, I'm awfully proud of the work we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you, and I think anybody who puts together a business plan and a vision, you know, for short-term future, long-term future, so on and so forth, you know, there's, like I joked about a minute ago, you know, total market domination. There's pie in the sky goals, and there's realistic, you know, goals based on market research and knowledge of trends and so on and so forth. So as you look today toward the end of 2025, you know, that line graph of Ferio Tego, do you guys feel satisfied with where that line has gone and where that line is today from what you envisioned when you started?
I look at our business through a couple different graphs.
Okay.
One is just the pure economic graph of sales. One is the economic graph in terms of number of partners, meaning retailers, who are growing with our brand. I mean, obviously, not every store wins with every brand they bring in. So to me, those things are very important to track just from a business, finance, analytic perspective. Are we gaining new accounts? How many are we losing? Which ones are going up? Which ones have dropped? How do we help the ones that have come down? How do we support the ones that are new? You know, always trying to understand the audience in the moment is a critical part of continuing to move forward. But the other one is the emotional charts. How many more photos did I see tagged? How many more videos and reviews do I find, or mentions in Discord groups and Reddit and Facebook, places where people should feel free to talk about their hobby without a curious owner trolling all over to see? But I can't help myself because, you know, some artists say they never read reviews. I go out of my way to find every recorded experience with our brands on every platform I can find. And then we also do that live all year, in person, in events, talking with consumers and retailers. And what I'm paying attention to is how many people are familiar with the work and how many people are experiencing it for the first time. And so on the economic graphs, I'm pleased with the journey, but I'm also really proud of the work that we have done relative to the challenges that we faced along the way. I think we're in a great position. Again, at some point I have to stop. I have to stop using our time in market as some kind of a grading scale, but I still believe 4 years is no different than 4 years as a person. I mean, it's, yes, you're walking, and yes, you're going to the bathroom, but you are not a functioning adult at 4, and a functioning brand is not 4 years old. Functioning brand is something that's more mature.
Yeah.
But to look at the emotional connection that our brand is making, and to meet more and more people who come up to share with me that that our brand means so much to them, that it's played meaningful moments during meaningful moments in their lives, something happy, something sad. I just saw someone post yesterday that they smoked a Timeless Supreme, interestingly enough, after a really hectic work experience, and it's exactly what they needed. And I sent them a message, and I just said, "Hey, I just saw this post, and I just wanted to thank you, for choosing us." And he wrote back. He's like, "It was a really hard conversation at work, and that cigar really just gave me time to think about it and realize that it wasn't so bad. And I loved the cigar. It helped me focus on something else because it was so good. It kept my attention on it." Those are the things that there's no way to chart it, and there's no way to really redeem that equity. But that is the stuff that brands are built on. And so I'm really excited to see that develop in a meaningful way in the hearts and minds and palates and humidors of consumers.
That's, man, such a great point, because, cigars are a consumable. Beer is a consumable, wine's a consumable, steak is a consumable, so on and so forth. But there are certain moments in our lives that we reach for something, even though it's still a consumable, we reach for something notable. We reach for something, I don't know, meaningful, or something a step or 2 or 3 steps or 4 steps above. And I've got to imagine that it's the sense of accomplishment that you have, and the sense of gratefulness that you have, that in one of that just like you mentioned, in somebody's moment out there, and it, like you said, it could be a happy moment, it could be a sad moment, that, for example, somebody has a tough work conversation and your cigar, help them get perspective on that moment. Somebody's daughter is getting married and they used a cigar with your company's name on it to get them to celebrate that moment in time.
But it's a funny relationship, though, because the way you opened that up was from the personal perspective. And so the thing we reach for in those most meaningful moments is often not the same thing as the thing we reach for when we're out with other people to flex. Like, sometimes those are not the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it's a little utopian, perhaps, but I am doing everything I can to be both, where to the user, our brand is something nostalgic and personal that resonates in a meaningful way in that moment, that they're going to reach for it because it's like your mom's favorite meal. You know, it's the thing you want zero risk on in this important moment of your day. And so often we have so many things saved. I mean, I've said this 1,000 times. We have so many things saved for those most meaningful moments, and they are the flex ones. And yet we rarely grab them because somehow we diminish the meaning of the moment. Oh, it's not good enough for that. Let me save that for something bigger. And we go to what's comfortable and what's a sure thing. And if you really think about those moments, they're probably the biggest, most important moments. And actually, we pull for the flex ones when it's meaningless. When you're with 4 buddies and you just want to brag and flex, or you're going golfing, or you're going to someone's house, or you're going to a stupid cigar convention, and so you break out your big guns so you can roll around. It's just so silly. What I'm grateful for is that I think as a portfolio, we can be both things, that we are becoming more and more a brand to flex with as more and more people learn about the brand and the experience and the thought and creativity behind the blends, and then experience exactly that, but then also appreciate the value that comes with it. That's not to say that $25 or whatever it is in your local market is inexpensive. I find that to be a bit expensive. But compared to cigars that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 times the price, which is not uncommon in today's market, our portfolio delivers from a performance and a consistency and a quality perspective, I think, way better than many of those experiences at prices that far exceed ours. And so I think that allows us to live in both of those worlds simultaneously in different moments for different people.
Yeah. And that perspective, I really appreciate that perspective, because it's there. I don't know. There's just, I
didn't mean to cut you off, but it was, you had presented it as personal first, but then it kind of shifted over to the user.
Yeah.
Side, and then it's like, you know, when you watch people flex with brands, you know, everything changes, even about the way they enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like you can tell when someone is loving a cigar versus when someone wants to make sure that it is exactly visible. You know what I mean? There's something performative, and it's not to take away from that person's experience with cigars. Great, enjoy it. But if you were going to ask me which bucket would I like to be in, I would much rather be in the nostalgia bucket of being meaningful.
100%.
Than only being a flex brand. But you know nothing about it beyond the label.
And like you said, some people, and maybe not every time, but some people use certain moments where the flex part of it or the performative part of it, for them, that's part of the moment. That's part of what makes it a moment, is saying, oh, I got the most expensive cigar in the humidor, or I've got this 38-year-old, you know, Cuban cigar that, you know, blah, 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 or that's part of the moment for them. And as much as it,
which is also what makes that interesting for us, because to many people, so what you're talking about is the value of the reach, the emotional value of that reach, that stretch of going to the top shelf and buying the $100 pour of Macallan 25 and getting the tomahawk at Luger's, right? It's just blowing it and popping bottles because tonight is the night to celebrate. But going back to what I said before, $25 is top shelf for the majority of people in this country. And so I also appreciate being able to let people know that they don't have to reach above Ferio Tego to get the best. You know, they can reach us without getting on their tippy toes, without getting uncomfortable. You know, save some for the eggs and for college because you are getting the best.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, when we play poker, a lot of guys flex.
Oh,
that's the time.
Poker games, and even though we play low stakes poker, but still,
the
guys,
cigars are high.
And we usually do like a bounty thing where it's if you knock somebody out, if you take somebody's stack, they also have to put a bounty cigar up. And you know, we usually say we want the bounty. You know, you can't bring like a $2 cigar for a bounty. It's got to be a substantial cigar. Yeah. And some guys, you know, they'll put like a pretty good cigar to a really good cigar as their bounty cigar, but what they're smoking is like, I just picked this up for, you know, this cigar cost me $180 and it's what they're smoking. But then they put for their bounty cigar, they put, you know, something that's, you know, maybe a $20 cigar. It's like,
which is probably better, by the way. It's probably a better cigar.
But it's I mean,
dude, so walk around cigar festivals. You've been to enough of them, right? Listen, if you're spending your money to walk into a cigar festival, whether it's Big Smoke that just happened, Great Smoke in Florida, Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival, why would you walk around smoking a Cuban?
Oh, never. I would never insult Nicaraguan and Dominican cigar makers by smoking a Cuban cigar at one of those festivals ever.
But to me, that's one of those classic flexes.
Yes.
That is just so illuminative of the person who is in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, total compensation, trying to demonstrate expertise through, you know, some provocative thing, hoping that someone says, "Oh my gosh, is that a Cuban?" Oh! You know. And there are other brands, obviously, that sometimes evoke the same thing, and it's so intentional, but also, you know, it's unfortunate and for them because they're missing out. But usually, they always come around. Everyone does.
So, Michael, out of your cigars that you, what I say, inherited.
No, bought, but paid a lot of money for.
Which one of those cigars is doing the best for you, and which is your favorite?
Ooh.
Those are two really tough things to answer. So the first one, Metropolitan has 5 blends, and they sit in that like $7 to $12 retail range. Timeless Collection has 4 blends, and they sit in $9 to $15 or so range. I might be off by $1 either way here, but and then Ferio Tego has 3 blends that sit 17 to 24, and we'll leave limiteds out. Historically, pre-Ferio Tego, we have a blend within Metropolitan, and Metropolitan dates back to the 1990s. Our host blend was always far and beyond the leader of all blends. It's mellow, it's creamy, it's got sweetness. It's a crowd pleaser.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the number one selling experience on the American market. That is still our number one selling blend, but it's not our number one in brick and mortar specifically. So it's disproportionately successful through catalog and online channels. And if you look at it in its totality, it's not that much bigger than others. And then if you shrink it down by brand, Metropolitan, Timeless, and Ferio, they're actually 3 very close pieces of pie, which to me is a great indication that the work we did, to restore Timeless and Metropolitan, and then B, to create completely new work and a new brand as Stereotago, that work has been done successfully because nothing has cannibalized the other, and they're all living in a very equal world. But if you really get into the nitty gritty, the host remains number one, and Suma is now number two, which it further reinforces the idea that I just presented, that our oldest blend and our newest blend are neck and neck for number one.
Nice. Well, and I have to echo what you said almost at the beginning, when we brought you onto the show, is that the cigar you're smoking right now, Michael, I smoked, so a couple weekends ago, our friend Tony, we had a kind of a going away party for Tony because he and his wife are moving out of state. So we did a all day cigar tour on a Saturday a couple weekends ago, and had an absolute blast going to a bunch of different shops around. And then we closed off the night with a great bonfire at Raul's place. And one of the cigars I lit up at the bonfire was that Suma, same one you're smoking right now. And that cigar is such when you talk about like specific notes or nuances that you get from cigars, that cigar is such a chocolate bomb. I mean, it's got so much rich sweetness, like cocoa, and
I always describe it as fudgy.
Yeah.
It's got a decadence and a fattiness, and it's big and chewy and rich.
Yeah, but still insanely smooth. The retrohale's like butter. I mean, there's no bite, there's no harshness, anything like that. It's just smooth, rich, unctuous goodness. And it's so just I just wanted to shout out that cigar because I had it at that bonfire a couple weeks ago, and I was just loving every second of it.
It's comforting to me.
It's a comforting cigar. Yeah.
It's done great, man. I'm so proud of it. So to answer your second question, Raul, which is what's my favorite?
Oh yeah.
I think of cigars musically, obviously. So each brand feels like an album to me. It's an era of work. And hopefully, as an artist, you evolve. And so artistically, I think we are inclined to always like our latest work the best because it's the most representative of where we are now creatively, professionally, from a talent perspective. We're more mature as artists, and so hopefully the work reflects that. But it's hard not to love playing your hits. It's hard not to feel something special about your first blend or your first. So I always mention, in fact I have one right here, I always mention Timeless Prestige as a favorite because it was the first blend that I ever got to author officially when I was with Nat Sherman, so 2011. Yeah. So this blend for me has such a close feeling in my heart. It's rare that I will ever be outside of my house without a Prestige on me. But clearly the latest album being Stereotago is the one I'm listening to the most. And those three songs, Elegancia, Generoso, and Suma, are just three completely unique moods and expressions. Elegancia is a ballad. Generoso is a little heavier and it's got more groove. Suma is kind of like that perfect in between those two. It's slow and it's emotional, but it's got real backbone and richness. So if you held a gun to my head and told me that I had to pick a favorite right now, I would say Stereotago is my favorite album right now. And if I had to pick a blend, That's a really. I might just take the gun. I might just take the shot. I would finish whichever one. I would ask to finish whichever one. If the gun was held to my head right now, my favorite would be Suma because it would be my last. But if I were smoking an Elegancia right now, that would also be the correct answer.
Well, and just because of what I spent most of my time working on through college and for a few years after was jazz in a singing point of view. You know, I look at Elegancia as like that pure early Frank Sinatra, just gentle and smooth. And then Generoso as
Elegancia is 25 years old, Frank, which is 10 years of smoking and drinking.
Yeah, basically. And then like Generoso, Ella Fitzgerald, a little bit more pop, a little bit more pizzazz, but still right in the pocket, smooth, you know, still got smoothness, still has, but has just a little bit of extra, you know, a little extra flavor, you know. And then Suma, gosh, for jazz vocalists like Johnny Hartman, he sang a lot with John Coltrane, you know, just like literally his voice is like chocolate.
Yeah, round.
Yes.
Deep.
Yeah.
No edges.
Exactly.
No gravelly.
Yeah. So
like
that's Which one is Billie Holiday? That's a great question.
We just lost the audience, but I liked what we did.
Billie Holiday. I'd say Billie Holiday could be a Generoso gal. But Billie Holiday could also be a timeless. She could be. She honestly,
Panamericana.
She could be Panamericana.
Because she was a little like
grit, a little bit of grit. Yeah.
She's got a little of that Costa Rican Ligero vibe.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, we did lose the audience, but I don't give a shit. I don't know.
So,
you can fast forward past this later.
So we've asked this before and you've explained it to us, but Todd, Kyle wants to know what the logo of
Fago for those who haven't seen this before.
I should have been more prepared for this. So my family motto.
I can pull it up on the screen, Michael. Don't worry.
Do you have the logo there?
Or
the coat of arms?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
My last name is Herklots, and Herklots has a coat of arms. Actually goes back to 1641. And despite all the crazy extras, when you really zoom into the thing that matters most on a coat of arms, it is generally the shield. And the shield has the image of Hercules striking the Hydra that you see here. And Ferio Tego is found under it as the motto. And in the context of this, Hercules had to go do 12 labors, and I can't remember why, but he I don't know, disrespected somebody, and Zeus made him go do something. Anyway, look up Herklots family coat of arms, and that'll get it'll pull it right up. So Hercules was forced to go do these labors, and one of them was to kill the Hydra that was terrorizing that one. Third one down. Keep going right there. That might work. Talk about old website. Good Lord. Anyway, that gives you the idea. Right. So that is precisely my coat of arms that is on my ring right there. Oh, let's get the light right. And in the context of this story, Ferio Tego, in the truest form of Latin, means I strike, I cover, as I understand it from Terence Riley. I strike, I cover. We have used it as a company as strike and defend. And there's actually an army regiment that is called Ferio Tego that uses it in the same way. So if you ask us and if you look at our website, Ferio Tego is strike and defend.
Nice. Yeah, I love and I think any I love the stories behind brands, and yours is no exception. And there are some brands that have I'll say it, better stories. I mean, we've only got like 8 shows left, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. Your story has more depth of meaning than some other brands' stories. Brand names. For what they choose.
Well, and some brands, their brand story becomes their story, right? For other brands, they're able to leverage something before the brand life begins. And I think where we had a unique advantage was just that I had at least enough sort of public life in the industry where we could pull authentically from me, even though it's a day one start, January 2020 with the company and October of 21 with a product. That is the start date for Ferio Tego, like it or not, despite how long I've been in the business. So I think we were lucky in some way that we could pull from using an authentic story that was meaningful to people that maybe brand new brands don't have the benefit of curiosity the way ours did.
Yeah. So do you think it's time?
Maybe.
Michael, do you think it's time?
Do you think it's time? All right, guys, it is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right, this week's Numero de los Muertos. The number is approximately 600 people. Oh, and I got to give a shout out to one of our loyal, wonderful viewers / listeners. Tom Darling sent this to me. So this one was provided by Tom. Thank you for that, brother. Approximately 600 people die each year in the United States from this.
Food poisoning.
Not food poisoning.
Is it something that can be diagnosed?
It is not something that can be diagnosed. It is not a medical condition or disease.
Is it accidental?
Yes.
David Floyd was Neurodrel. We got to do that one. We got to find a death with Neurodrel.
I don't want that in my search history, bro.
Is the person do they die from their own volition? Is it their own cause of death? And it was their accident? Or someone else had caused it?
In most of the cases, the person who dies from the action causes the action themselves. But there are some that the person who causes the action causes it upon someone else.
600, you said?
600 per year in the U.S. on average.
Eric, car accidents are way more than 600.
Yeah, car accidents, unfortunately.
I was going to say drinking with Rocky Patel.
Oh, God. No, I think the number's higher.
It might be. Well, not death, though. Not death.
Yeah, just shame.
Death Valley heat stroke.
Not heat stroke.
Oh, that's interesting. But does it involve outdoors? Exposure related?
No, it's not exposure related. I would say, I don't have the numbers on this, but I would say the vast majority, if not all of these, occurred outdoors. Probably all of them.
Is it blunt force? Some kind of
not blunt force.
Deer hunting accident.
Not deer hunting.
House fire.
Not house fires. That's way more.
Is it sports or athletic rated?
Sport, athletic. Yeah, in a tertiary sort of way, yes.
Does it involve a weapon?
Weapons are not involved.
Drinking and fishing.
Not drinking and fishing. I've done a lot of drinking and fishing, and fortunately, nobody's died yet.
Does it require? Is it natural?
No, it's through. No, it's not natural.
So it's not weather related. It's not.
Yeah, correct. Not weather related, not natural disaster related.
Not God, force majeure. Okay.
No, it's stupidity related.
Are animals involved?
Animals are not involved.
Not hand stroking.
Not hand stroking. No.
Does it involve falling?
Falling is not. No.
So this could happen standing.
Yeah.
Generally outdoors, and it doesn't involve. It's not a collision. It's not like something falling on you.
Not something falling on you.
Not fire.
Alcohol involved?
That's not shown as one of the direct corollary items in the study. No.
Are animals involved?
No. Fireworks are not involved. Bonfires are not involved. Does it
Gravity?
Kelly says, does it involve a plunger? Thank God, no.
Motocross?
Not motocross.
Gravity? Is gravity involved in this?
No.
Male, female specific?
Since this mostly involves bad decisions, I'm going to go mostly male.
Cooking?
Not cooking.
It's outside though. It's outside.
Outside. So I want to go back. I won't use this to give a hint, but I will use this as a reference point for a hint that you can come up with on your own. So Jesus said motocross. It is not motocross.
But it does with bikes?
Sitting in the bleachers during a Formula One race and having something hit you.
No, but what are these last couple things we've been talking about related to?
Speed.
Vehicles.
So vehicles are involved.
Racing?
Not racing.
Airbag.
Nope.
Airbag death.
Nope.
Street racing?
Not street racing. Not racing of any kind.
Okay.
Not
But
cycling.
Vehicles are involved.
These are four-wheeled vehicles.
Not a snowmobile.
Not a snowmobile.
ATV?
Nope.
Wheelbarrow. Oh no, that's 3. Wagon. Drunk in a wagon.
Not wagons.
Golf carts.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Michael Herklots coming in clutch. So here are the numbers.
Wow.
Approximately 600 people die in golf cart accidents each year in the U.S., according to statistics from law firms that analyze injury data. The number of injuries from these accidents is over 15,000 annually, and a significant number of victims are children and teenagers.
As well as tobacconists attending the TAA convention.
I can only imagine.
Or people like driving trucks in the lakes and stuff and hitting a golf cart on the way with somebody in it.
So yeah, it's both people
anything.
who are driving golf carts and injure themselves, or people who are driving golf carts and run into somebody else.
Well, I was a truck that was driving and
Well,
hit
that-
the golf cart.
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's part of the stats.
You're in that stat.
Stats out.
But yeah, children and teenagers make up a significant because a lot of people, have golf carts, where you live in communities.
Golf cart
A lot of
communities.
places in Florida where they don't take cars to and from, they take golf carts. But then also even in our neighborhood, there's a number of families that have golf carts that, go to Quick Trip or whatever it may be. Children and teenagers make up a significant portion of the victims, with one study finding that 31% of victims are under the age of 16. And the leading cause of injury is ejection from the cart, which accounts for 38% of the incidents. So don't drink and drive, even if it's only a golf cart. And don't drive like an idiot asshole. And don't let your 12-year-old drive the golf cart.
If you're too drunk.
Don't have your 12-year-old be your designated driver.
There you go.
That's just a good rule for life, really, in general, I think. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos.
Good one.
All right. It is now time to reveal this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. So I really have been perplexed.
Have you been enjoying it?
It's okay.
Really?
It's okay. I like it.
Okay.
So I'll say yes. Have I been enjoying it? Yes. Do I love it? Is it like something that I would say, okay, I need to go out and buy a case of this? No.
What don't you like about it?
It's the funkiness, the earthiness, the sort of mushroomy forest floor thing is just too much.
That
it does have some good qualities though, and it has opened up a lot since it's been in the glass, and I've had, as you can see, most of it. And it has it I like it way better now than I did the first 2 or 3 sips. So it's got a lot more sweetness now. It's a lot more round and balanced than it was, an hour and a half ago.
So when you first tried it, you loved it.
The first time I tried this at your place?
Yeah, you loved it.
And
I think you used the word exceptional.
And but did he know what it was?
That at the time he did.
At the time I did. Now I don't know what it is. So, and I had my wife made a fantastic pan of lasagna, and I had a huge piece of lasagna and fresh garlic bread. So, I'm not trying to throw out the excuse cone here, but
it's okay.
My palate had a lot of stuff going on before.
It's okay, Garfield.
On this bourbon, Garfield, yeah. So
Garfield, yeah, he's a cat that likes a lasagna. Yeah,
that was.
But
Garfield liked lasagna.
Oh yeah, Garfield.
Why do I not remember that part?
Yeah, all about lasagna. So can I guess what it is? Not really. I did say proof was 108.
Proof you're not too far off is 105.
105, okay. Is this all right? I'm gonna ask for a couple hints. Is this do I own any bottles from this particular brand?
Yes.
Is this what you know of me to be considered in like my top 2 or 3 brands?
Yes.
Okay, that narrows it way down, because that's
is
basically
Michael drinking it right now.
What was that?
Is Michael also drinking it right now?
No.
Okay, so it's not Four Roses, which is in my top 3 brands.
Yeah, we got that out.
So it's Old Forester.
Which one?
Which Old Forester is it? I'm gonna say this is the Old Forester Single Barrel 2023.
No.
Okay. Well, that was the closest I could get.
It's the one that's 105 proof, is what Dave White said.
It's the one that's 105.
Yeah.
So yeah, hold that. Oh, it's the King Ranch. Okay.
You see that?
Okay.
And you just had it.
No, I didn't. Not recently.
It was out last Saturday.
I didn't have it then. I had so I had 2 pours that Saturday night. I had the Penelope, and I had the
new one.
That dessert one. What was that dessert one you guys had?
The coffee
that was
one.
gross. We poured that in the fire. The coffee one that Matt Brugger brought, which was actually surprisingly good. I didn't think I was going to like that, but it was surprising. Yeah, that agave stuff. No, we literally poured that straight in the fire. So, yeah. Okay, it's interesting. I gifted a bottle of King Ranch to Ben Lee from, part of the Cigar Coop Coalition. And he was like, yeah, not my favorite Old Forester either. Not my favorite. But Old Forester, 9 times out of 10, if it's got Old Forester on the label,
you like it.
But isn't that also the fun? It's what we're up against all the time.
Yes.
When you experience something new from a brand you already love, you are inclined to want to like it.
That's true. 100%.
And you'll forgive the imperfections because you're excited about something new.
Yeah.
But if I brought some no-name, Whistle Goat bourbon and wanted you to check it out and said, "Did someone gave this to me? Let me know what you think." Your immediate starting point would be skepticism.
Yep.
100%. And that's, I think that on Spirit of Mystery specifically, all the 100 or whatever times we've done this Spirit of Mystery, I always start out with skepticism. And because you've brought some of the Kirkland, Costco stuff,
Costco.
which
I just had that for the first time last week.
Of the Kirkland stuff comes from top producers, whether it's Scotch or bourbon. Some of it comes from some of the top distilling houses. It's just they sell it in bulk to Kirkland because they get a big payday right away.
Mike, what you think?
Yeah, what did you think of the Kirkland that you tried?
It was let me think about this. It was bourbon, not Scotch. And like my go-to is usually Elijah Craig.
Okay.
Regular, straightforward. I like it. It's round. It has a viscosity that really hits me. That to me was a little closer to the corn side of stuff. It felt a little brighter. Didn't have what I like, which has more bottom. I felt like that didn't have as much bottom. It was brighter, but it was very good. And I was shocked that it was a Costco. But Costco also has, Kirkland makes great wines too. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to shit on private label stuff and big brand stuff. But they take their work seriously. I worked formerly for a big tobacco company, and they make white paper filtered products. And I remember thinking to myself, as an egotistical handmade premium cigar guy, that, that stuff just must all be shag garbage. And not the case, man. I mean, learning about what the biggest do to find the best quality that they can and to be able to deliver it at a price that their customers want. There's obviously some level of trade there.
Yeah.
But still, the commitment to quality and consistency and all that stuff, man, you have to give the big guys credit. And what they do for manufacturers. I mean, we don't own a factory. We work with a lot of we work with 3 manufacturers. But the biggest companies and what they do for those factories allow guys like me the opportunity to play with those factories. Because I couldn't do that if they didn't have bigger customers, that were easier to deal with.
So I got a question for you, because that's what we do here. Some of the other brands make Cuban sandwiches out of their sandwiches. Would you ever think about making one?
I'd think about making anything.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But it has to be, I was working on a project that was going to be lower priced, and I played with long filler and mixed. And the mixed that we could achieve could not have our brand on it.
Okay.
I just couldn't get there. And certainly not for the price. I think, you have to look at the economics. The companies that are the most successful in those categories are the companies that are vertical, that own factories, and that after they hand make cigars, there are leftovers. There's cuttings and clippings and all the things that happen. And if you sell that to someone who's going to turn it into a cigar, or you turn it into a cigar yourself, there's immediate revenue in scenario number 1, but there's maximum margin in scenario number 2. And, I know a lot of people who love smoking cigars. They love cigars. And that's what they smoke. And they don't love cigars any less than I do. They probably love cigars more than I do. And they probably consume more than I do.
Yeah.
So it's a very important category. And I'm a I'm a believer in it. Now, fast forward, we're up against FDA, regulatory stress, and now specifically the definition that may ultimately keep handmade premium cigars considered differently than ones that do not meet that definition.
Yeah.
And there is no pathway for a mixed filler to be considered handmade premium, which would subject them potentially to more regulatory stress. So to answer that question more thoughtfully, I would consider it less because there's really not a pathway to be creative in that world.
Yeah.
But I certainly understand why people do it. And I certainly understand why people love it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's jump into the lightning round brought to us by our friends at J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and the American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 114-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right. So, Michael,
they're such great people.
They're fantastic people. And if you haven't been to their factory, which I have. But yeah, you got to go. I'm definitely going to go before, maybe before the end of this year.
Really?
No, probably not, but we'll see. All right. So, Michael, since you've been on the show so many times, you've had a lot of our old school lightning round questions. So I have a few newer ones drawn up here. What would the title of your autobiography be?
First of all, it would only be available in the audio abridged version because that's the only version I've ever consumed of any autobiography.
Yep.
To my own heart.
Audiobooks for life.
I also share that because I know my dad at some point is going to watch this video. And the backstory to that is in high school, I had to do a book report on an autobiography, and I picked the Colin Powell autobiography when that came out, which was it was about an inch thicker than my Bible, and I hadn't even gotten through that one yet. So by the time it was time to submit the report, I found a 4-cassette audio abridged version of this thing and wrote my book report on that. I passed. It was not good work, but that is a forever joke with my dad. So it would only be available in audio abridged. And the title would be Grateful.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's fantastic. All right. So on your smartphone, you get to keep your three favorite apps, your 3 must-have apps. Now, I'm gonna amend this a little bit and say you can keep the apps that are like commonplace on a phone. So you can keep the phone app for calling, you can keep the texting app, and you can keep the email app. But aside from those 3, what are the other 3 that are must-haves that you would not want to have uninstalled from your phone? Now you got to pull out the phone. It's like, oh shit, what the hell was the name of that app?
So it's not even like native apps. Like everything that comes with the phone is not included in this. Yeah.
So you get the phone automatically. You get the phone app for calling. You get the texting.
What about the clock?
Yeah, we'll say
the system that comes with the phone.
We'll say system apps are included.
Yeah. Okay.
So phone, texting,
third party apps. Let's do that.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Good job.
Get from the Play Store or the Apple Store.
Justin's reining me in here.
There we go.
Yes. Keep it tight. Keep it tight.
So, for instance, Eric says YouTube, eBay, and Sensor Push.
I don't know what Sensor Push is, but it sounds
I'm afraid.
That's probably it's hygrometers, I'm guessing.
I'm not Googling it. I'll tell you that. I'm not.
Yeah, don't
It's a
Google it.
hygrometer app. It's okay.
You don't want
Okay.
that in your search
Sensor Push,
history.
yeah.
I think the only social media I would keep is Instagram.
Yeah.
Because everything else functions okay on a laptop. I would keep my bank, like my checking bank, my Bank of America, and I'd have to keep WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, that is honestly, because for people who don't have U.S. phone numbers, that's an absolute must.
I wasn't.
Although I would trade. I take that back. I would trade WhatsApp for Uber.
Oh, okay.
Because traveling as much as I do. Oh no, actually, I take that back. Shit, hold on. Instagram. Wait, this is just my phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I would ditch Instagram. I would keep Delta Airlines.
Oh yeah.
Uber. Those have to move up. And my bank.
So you prefer Uber over Lyft?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just what I always.
I've had back and forths over the years. It's like one year Uber works better and prices are lower, and the next year Lyft is better and prices are lower.
I take the same approach that I've always taken. I like the OG version of whoever did it first.
Yeah.
So, like, even in retail, I would have all the OG versions of lighters and accessories and all this stuff. And then the next year, someone would come in with the cover song version of that lighter from this company, and I wouldn't buy it. But I was hardcore. So when, if Colibri copied Lotus on one and then Lotus copied Colibri on the other, I just always kept the original versions.
Yeah.
So I got to stick with Uber.
Okay. I get that. All right. So you can choose one fictional character to become real and be a close friend of yours. Who do you choose and why?
A fictional character, like in the moment they were the character.
Yeah.
Or not like.
No, Matt Booth is a real person, Eric. Matt Booth is a real person. Jessica Rabbit. Oh, that's. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I thought of was Paulie Walnuts.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna stick with that answer.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Final answer.
You know what's weird is, of all the years of consuming and loving cigar related social media, I think of Paulie Walnuts in the scene where he's talking about he had to wash his hands again because he just tied his shoes. And I think about
even if the laces were dry, virus migrates.
And I think about the sketches you did a couple times with Cigar Dojo for, at PCAs, staged in bathrooms. And immediately that's where my head went. And yeah. I could picture you and Paulie Walnuts next to each other, at a PCA show, doing your business.
I'd want him in the like at the end of Sopranos. By then he was an old man. He wasn't a vicious guy. I guess he could have been.
Yeah.
But by that point, he just, he was trying to make his money.
Yeah.
Right. Get through life. And he didn't even smoke cigars, which that's all right.
Guy was an interior decorator. His house
Czechoslovakian.
He was Czechoslovakian. Oh, shit. I love that. That's fantastic. All right, let's jump into this week's notable smokables. So each week, we've done this before. We name a cigar that we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that has been on the market for decades that we revisited for the first time in a very long time, or this could be a cigar that's relatively new that we smoke for the first time ever. Obviously, you're smoking mostly your own stuff, but if you've had a chance recently to jump outside of your own portfolio, is there anything you smoked recently that really stood out to you?
Yep. At TAA, I smoked a Hoya de Nicaragua. It was a Lonsdale-ish size. It wasn't the numero uno, which I like, but it was kind of that size. And it was shade wrapped to the band, and then from the band to the cap was darker.
That's the Cabinetta.
Yeah, the Lancero or the Lonsdale.
Is that it?
They call it the Cabinetta.
Very good.
Super good. I agree. Super good cigar. I
had never had it before. Wow. It was out a long time ago, and they remade them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But very good.
Nice. Raleigh?
Mine was the Santa Muerte.
We can't.
Blackworks.
I can't. There you go.
Santa Muerte from Blackworks.
Oh, nice. I haven't had one of those in a while.
Lonsdale.
I mean,
Lonsdale.
Holy Death?
Holy Death, yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Justy, what about you?
I pulled out a cane nub Maduro yesterday from like 4 years ago. It was actually pretty good. So, yeah,
gosh, I haven't had a cane in years. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's been because that's part of the Oliva family of brands.
And they had a nub version of it at 4x60.
Gosh.
And Kane was what's his face's creation?
That was
oh my God. He's got the Cigar of the Month box
Sam
program.
Lucia.
Sam's, yeah.
Yeah, Sam Lucia.
That was his project.
I know I've got some old canes in my humidor.
They used to be strong as hell. I don't know if they still are.
Yeah, they were like the strongest. Well, at the time, it's like they were known as being the strongest cigars on the market, and then that sort of became commonplace where everybody was trying to make, set the record for the strongest cigar.
Red smokes the shit out of those.
Does Red smoke a lot of those? Mm-hmm. I gotta dig through and find some of those old ones I have. I know I've got them somewhere. Yeah. So mine this week was I revisited our cigar of the year from last year, Aventura, the Chancellor, which was, they've, Henderson and those guys, they've put together some pretty nice blends, but that Chancellor was just
exceptional.
Yeah, really nice. So I had that on Friday, Halloween. Yeah, so that was a nice one. All right, coming attractions.
Henderson's my favorite Haitian.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
I tell him.
All right, next Monday night, November 10th, Jeff Borshowitz from Corona Cigar Company back on the show, and November 17th coming back onto the show for another appearance, Pedro Gomez from Drew Estate.
What a lineup, bro.
Yeah, we've got some absolute killer people coming on for the last few shows. So very, very, very grateful. And of course, grateful to you as well, Michael, for making your, I'm just going to go with 8th. I'm pretty sure it's 8th appearance on How About That Cigar Live. So brother, thank you so much for spending your Monday night with us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys. And let me just say, this is not the last time. As a guy who put the key in the door of a company 5 years ago, it was not goodbye. It was see you later.
Yeah.
I ended my video when I put the key in the door saying a job well done. And I hope you all feel exactly the same. You guys have contributed in an incredibly meaningful way to the industry, not just to the media side, but to the industry. You've given a platform to new brands and legacy brands in just such a fair way, and you've kept it fun. You've also respected people's time on a Monday night, which I really appreciate, that we're not going, 5 hours. It has always been a pleasure to be on your show. I've looked forward to it every single time. Tonight was no different. And I do look forward to another live together at some point, somewhere, someplace. This is definitely not the last one we're doing. And I really appreciate you guys. So good luck.
Thank you so much,
And
brother.
Michael, we got to hear what you're going to do.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
And then, Michael, where's the best place for everybody to follow you on social media or Facebook, Instagram? What's that for everybody on the audience?
On personal, at Michael Herklots, on all platforms. For Ferriotego, at Ferriotego, except for X, formerly known as Twitter, which is Ferriotego Cigars.
Very nice. Well, brother, thanks again. Appreciate you, and stay in the virtual after we go off the air. Viewers and listeners, guys, thank you so much for being the best part of How About That Cigar Live. So grateful once again for you guys watching and listening live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on
Rumble.
And of course, if you are one of our fantastic audio podcast listeners, whether you're driving down the road, whether you're working out, whatever it is you do, when you listen to your favorite audio podcast, thanks so much for making us a part of it. Click on all the big, beautiful buttons, the like button, the follow button, the subscribe buttons, so you won't miss out on anything we have going on with How About That Cigar. I'm trying to get the lips working again. That's what she said. If you guys have questions, if you guys have questions for any of us, you can email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. Be sure to follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. You will find us at HBT Cigar. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys. Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.